Start the recording right now. Okay, so we're talking about IT and we're talking about computer science and other words for programming. And the one that I like to use is software development, because a lot of what we're doing is either engineering or implementing software. And so those kinds of software design decisions and software implementation decisions, those are done by programming. Now, why is this important? How many of you don't really think that you want to be a programmer? You don't think that's your goal? Raise your hand if you want to do something other than programming. So Kyle wants to do something other, or Alex, sorry, you want to do something other than programming? Okay, well, the other three, and certainly if you want to program, then there's a lot more that we can talk about. But I just want to say one thing for Alex there. Even if you don't want to write code, anyone can benefit from a deeper understanding of technology. Just think about how many computers you interact with on a daily basis. And I'm not just talking about the laptop you're in front of. Did you know there's computers in your car? There's computers in a lot of buildings, like the thermostats are computers now. There's computers controlling locks. If there are computers surrounding you, why wouldn't you want to at least understand how they work, right? Understand, you don't have to do it for a career if you're interested in other things, but it's definitely useful to understand. In addition, there are plenty of other opportunities that you can take within the field of IT that wouldn't be programming. Like I said, remember, computer science is about a whole lot more than just the computer programming. That is a big part of it, but there's more. Okay, I want to suggest, how many of you have started learning programming or learning about computer science because you're interested in it? How many of you have started down that? Raise your hand. I know you have, Alex, because you said you took a class on it. Jake, Elijah, did you guys do anything yet to start to learn programming? Do you think that you're old enough to do it? Well, I'm here to tell you, you definitely are old enough to program, because you know what we're going to do today? Before the end of this, I would like to do some programming. Do you guys think that would be fun? Okay. And the reason why I think it's really important to start learning about it is a lot of people think, well, I know how to use a computer. I don't need to program. But you really do. There's two different things in computer science: digital literacy and the engineering of the computers. And I think that building technology is becoming more and more important. And I know that you oftentimes will talk about computer science, you'll hear about it in school, you'll talk about it with other people, but anybody can get more advanced. And even if you don't know where to start or you think you're too young, you can work together as part of a team like we're going to today. And if you're not that interested in it, like I said, just think about all the computers around you. So wouldn't it be useful to know how they work? It'll help you no matter what career you go into. Okay, so I'm going to just jump ahead because I'm a little behind on my time. And I want to make sure you guys have time for questions and that we get to program together. So I want to ask you just a few more things. What do you guys think some examples of how technology has changed modern careers would look like? So, for example, let me give you one. How has modern technology changed authors? So novelists, people that like to write books. Well, think about it. Back in the day, if you wanted to write a novel, the only way you could get it out to a large number of people without the internet, before the internet, was you had to actually print a book. And it's very expensive to do that. So those people that were writers had to find a relationship with a publisher. Now, people are able to use the internet and things like Amazon and other resources, and they can self-publish. They can completely write their book and get that out to the whole world just using the internet. So that's one way. What's another example of how technology has affected a career? Not just a computer career, but other careers. Raise your hands if you can think of another example. And it's okay to just take a guess. Alex, it looks like you're clapping, but if you've got an example, I'd love to hear it.
Maybe in the, like, you can even take it to like building things like bridges and stuff. I don't know.
Absolutely. Civil engineering, where they build bridges, has been very, very much affected by computers. You can do 3D models of your bridges. You can test them in the computer rather than building them and seeing if they break, right? You can show it to other people. So kind of take a snapshot of here's what this bridge is going to look like. So that's a big one. What else? Anything else how about sports? How has sports been affected by technology? Any ideas? What's your favorite sport? Somebody tell me their favorite sport. I'm hearing from Alex a lot, but I'd love to hear from the rest of you as well. Jake?
Baseball.
Okay, so how do you think baseball has been affected by technology? I mean, they don't use computers when they play the game, right? There's a bat and a ball and people, and of course, a field. But how has technology affected baseball? Any ideas? How many of you like seeing the stats that they have in baseball? I mean, it's really cool how they can calculate everybody's percentages and keep track of all of that. How do you think they do that? They can even figure out over the course of time, this right-handed pitcher is more likely to strike out left-handed batters or whatever it is. That's all with computers. They've got huge databases of all of the statistics. And so they actually have done a whole lot based on the statistics of it. What about the broadcasting of it, right? We now can digitally broadcast it. So you can watch a game by streaming it over the internet. That's enabled because of modern technology and computers. So there's a whole lot, and I could go on and on with this, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that pretty much any field is going to be affected by computer science and technology and programming. And so no matter what you do, it's good to kind of understand what that means. So would you like to program with me today? Should we make a little team and be a programmer? All right. Now, before I get started on that, I'd love to give you an opportunity to ask other questions if you have them. Do you guys have other questions that you want to ask before we try to program? Or you just want to get right into it? Okay, I saw some nodding heads. All right, now what I have to do, this screen is going to be, I'm going to have to change my share. This screen is going to be a little harder for me to show because I had to switch computers, but don't worry, it'll still, I think, get the point across. So everybody, please let me know. Can you see on my web browser 4 squares? There's a red, yellow, green, and blue. Give me a nod or a thumbs up. Okay, good. Now, here is something else I wanted to show you, my terminal. How many of you guys have seen a computer terminal like this before? Alex has? Elijah has? Good. Okay, so hopefully it isn't too scary, but don't worry, I'll walk you through this. What I'm going to show you is how I created this screen right here that says Kids Go STEM. Now, this is a little video game. Let's play it. It says, try to guess the secret sequence of buttons, and you've got 5 clicks. Any guess where we should start? Any ideas? What do you want to do, Jake? Which one should we click on?
Blue.
Okay, let's click blue. Oh, look at that. Now we're down to 4 clicks. I think blue was right. What's next? Any guesses? Elijah?
Green.
Okay, let's try green. You guys are good. What's next? What do you want to do, Jake?
Red.
Oh, now we missed it. Now look, it says right here. I know this is kind of a little small, so probably hard for you to read, but I'll read it for you. It says wrong, try again. Hint, start with blue, end with red. Now we know, because we did blue and then green, that the first two are, we already know them, and we know it's not red for the third one, right? So let's try blue, green, yellow, blue, green, yellow. Oh, that one didn't work either. Let's try blue, green, blue. Oh no, what if it's blue, green, green? Okay, now we've only got one more we need to get. What do you think, Elijah?
Yellow and then red.
Yellow and then red. Okay, so that was just a fun little game where you basically guess a secret sequence. And what I've done is I've created it so that I can show you guys the code, and then we're gonna make a change. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about what would you want to do while I explain this code to you. There's a few things that are pretty easy that we could do. We could change the color here, so we don't have to have red, green, yellow, and blue. We could change the color. We could change the message. We could change the font or the text that's here. We could change the number of clicks. We could go to 4 clicks, 6 clicks. So think about those things. There's a few other things, I'm sure. Of course, you could do, really with enough time, we could do anything. We could make this a really cool game, but we're going to try to just do something basic so that we have time to do that. Okay. So here's what I want to show you first. There's 3 different files that make this code work. Let me make this just a little bigger. There we go. Can everybody read that? Give me a head nod or a thumbs up. You guys can see it? Okay. So this is called HTML. Now, HTML, it's not really a programming language, but it's the language of the web. It tells the web browser what to show. And what you'll see here is, like, for example, right here on this line, it says Kids Go STEM 2022. So if I were to change that to, say, Kids Go STEM 2022 session 2, and then refresh my browser, well, look at that. That was pretty easy, right? So this defines all of the things that we're seeing on the browser. There's the part that says 5 clicks. There's the buttons, red, yellow, green, and blue. There's the text here that says try to guess the secret sequence. And then right here, actually right here, this is actually the interesting part. This is the part that loads my script. See how it says script? Okay. So this script, if I switch over to that, is a little bit longer because this is programming. This is a language called JavaScript. What I'm doing here is basically I am going through and I've defined a whole bunch of code to make that gameplay. Okay, so there are certain things from, I've done this with a lot of people. So like the seconds, that was actually, I put a timer on this before. So that was with another group. This sequence index right here, this just keeps track of which click I'm on. The remaining clicks, this is just taking the sequence that I'm looking at, and it's saying, how long is it? How much do I have left? Here's something, and you might notice this. It says, to cheat, just open the console. Do you guys know what the console is? So let me show you real quick. On any web browser, and hopefully your teachers won't get mad at me for showing you this, but in any web browser, you can actually see the code. If you right click or 2-finger click, when you see this menu, there's going to be an inspect at the bottom. And if you go to inspect, and let me close this, right here, this is all of the HTML that I was showing you in my other window. But the console, this console actually prints off messages. Now, one of the things I do is I print off the secret sequence right here. Okay. So when I start the game, that's what tells me blue, green, green, yellow, red. And you guys remember that was the sequence, right? Now, if I went back to my code, let's say that I wanted to change that. Right here, blue, green, green, yellow, red. Let's do blue, green, red, yellow, red. How about that? And then let me pull up my console and I will restart here. And it now says blue, green, red, yellow, red. So it's always telling me what to do. Blue, green, red, yellow, red. Right? So the code itself is all there just in that text editor. Now I wanted to program with you guys and we only have a few minutes. So what would you like to do? We could change the color of these buttons. We could add other buttons. We could change the text. What would
Change the font to Wingdings.
We could change the font to Wingdings, but nobody will be able to read it. Yeah, the other thing, the challenge of that, web fonts are kind of an interesting thing. If Wingdings isn't installed on your computer, you don't get to see it. And guess what? I'm on a Mac, so I actually don't have Wingdings. So other suggestions? What would you guys like to do? You know, one thing that I've done in the past, which is kind of fun, I make these so you can change this text to be a link, and that link could say, hey. And if you guys want like a little secret Easter egg, we could make that text for session 2 say hello from session 2. You guys want to do that? Okay, I don't know if we're going to have time to get this completed, but I'll do it as quickly as I can. And then when we're done with that, you can always, in your packet, there's the URL and you can show your friends. If you go to demo.bioneos.com, that'll take you back here. So where I put session 2 right here, I'm just going to define this as a link. I'm going to say ahref equals, and then actually, you know what? I'm going to define that without an href because I don't need to, but I'm going to say ID Easter egg. And then I'm going to say on click. And it's going to say hello from session 2. Okay. So now I've defined this as whenever you click on that session 2 link, it should say hello from session 2. Let me try refreshing and see if I did that right. Oh, I think I missed something. Hold on. Okay. Now, oh, that part didn't work for me. That's a link now, as you can see, because it's an underscore. And it's not doing the on click that I was hoping it would, but I am going to, I'm going to keep working on this. Oh, that's why. Alert. I forgot. Alert. There we go. Let's try this one more time. Okay. Now, the last thing we need to do, we don't want people to know that that's a link, right? So we got to change the color back. We don't want it to be a purple underscore link. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to define some styles for it. So I'm going to say style text decoration. So that would be getting rid of the underscore. Okay, text decoration none. So now there's no underscore. The next thing I want to do is I want to change the color back to black. Color black. And there we go. Now when people mouse over it, they do see the pointer. Should we get rid of that? What do you guys think? It could say cursor And I think it's none. I actually can't remember, but let's try that. Oh no, that made it disappear. Here's something interesting. And I don't know if we should be able to go back to the main room or get a warning when it's time to go back to the main room. I thought we were going to be ending pretty soon, but they're not telling us just yet. So real quick, here's what we do. Whenever you don't really know what a setting should be, you can always look that up. So I'm going to look up the CSS property. That's what it's called, CSS cursor property. And this, if I find Mozilla is a great resource, this is going to tell me, okay, help, wait, crosshair, not allowed, zoom in, grab. There's pointer. Oh, there's, I didn't think about it. There's auto. Let's do cursor auto. Let's see if that one does what we want. Okay, so it just looks like normal. But when I click on it, it pulls up hello from session 2. So now you guys together, we've been a team and we've actually done some programming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the other group, the session 3, and we're going to add to this. So come back later and see what they've done. Okay. All right. Now I know I would have loved to have more time, but I know that we should be getting ready to go. Let's see, 10:25. Yeah, it should be 2 minutes left. So I want to give you one last chance to ask questions. Yes, Gabe. Oh, you were just stretching. Any questions about computer science or what it's like to create software on a daily basis or anything like that? Jake, did you do that Rubik's Cube yourself? Elijah, do you have a question?
When you coded the buttons, do you have like a code to what like where they will be at? Like you just.
That's a great question. You know, and we only have 50 seconds, but what I didn't show you was that there's a third file that I have that actually, it's called CSS, and it actually defines the way things look and where they're placed. So there is another file that says, basically, I want these to be a big square, and it says how tall they are, and it says where they should be put, and put some rounded edges. So that file, you know, again, that's not really coding, but yes, I created a file like that. Okay, I think we're going to go back to the main room. I hope you guys learned a little bit and you had some fun. Thank you.
We've got a few more seconds for everybody to get back.